as in printing speed? Printing speed. So we're going to celebrate with some Hex Peppers, the Funk. Right here. This is a fairly spicy sauce. They have some, ooh, I don't want to tilt that too much. So they have a special pepper in here that'll knock your socks off. So give a nice little stir and we'll have some. Ooh, Jesus. That's a lot. Okay. That's a that's a fair bit of sauce. Yikes. More than I was going for. But let's do it. Cheers. Are you trying to kill me? Thank you, Waldo, for another 5,000 bits. That's pretty spicy. Oh. Ginger wants to join in too. Woo! You want some? Wow. Ooh. That's pretty spicy. It is very funking hot. Ah, has a slow burn. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy John. Oh God, not the keyboard, not the keyboard. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy John, for subscribing with Prime. Wow. You have certainly derailed me with video time. I was hotter than your peach? Ooh. I mean, when you have that much, it's a lot worse. The peach is pretty spicy. I don't know. They're both like the same level to me. Who broke me? Deposition did bang sound in chat. Oh man. All right. And then we still get to the moon. I'm crying. I'm sorry, Freaky Newfie. I'm sorry. I got one of mine in a box upstairs. But Ginger is a saint. Alright, cheers to burning my mouth off. Alright. Hi, you don't want this. Trust me, you do not want this. This one's pretty thick. I don't want to get too much. Okay, that's a reasonable amount for me. Jesus. Do you need to wash it down? Absolutely not. No. Alright. It's not as much. But this is to the moon. This is a 7.5 out of 10. Personally, this is too spicy for me. I'm just gonna be honest. This is a challenge sauce. So, the most that I would recommend to, like... Where are you going? Okay. The most that I recommend is like the level 5. That's like my personal like limit is 5 for like truly just like eating as a snack. But here, cheers to the moon. And Waldo, thank you for subscribing at tier 2. Not just tier 1, tier 2 for 6 months. Wow. 6 months. I can't wait to see what my studio looks like in 6 months. That'll be awesome. Okay. Cheers Doesn't hit. Did I get enough? Ooh, okay. It's there. Let's do some more. I didn't really... my mouth is already on fire, so I can't taste any more heat. Apparently. Weird. I've already burnt off everything. Yeah. I'll be able to taste more. Okay. Hey! Get off with the... It's on the... Okay, hello. Stop killing me. What the heck? Oh, wow, that's good. That's good. Oh my god. Okay, so light pro tip to enjoy hot sauce. First, you gotta have really spicy sauce first. Ooh, okay, a little spicy. Ooh, that's pretty good. I want some more of that. Give it a good shake. I'll keep eating until the hype train's over. And then we'll start the Delta build. Whew. Okay, that's smart. No, not the keyboard. Not the keyboard. Thank you. That way. That way. Okay, one more. Oh, that's kicking in now. Okay. A little more. Just a little. It's like a dab. Hot sauce biscuits. Okay, last one. Maybe. Maybe. Oh yeah, that's right. Pex Peppers has the Harvest Edition of this, which is a special. It's not roasted, fire roasted peppers instead of normal. Apparently it tastes pretty good. We'll get to the Boron Delta in a minute. Okay. Are we ready for some more of this? Which I probably shouldn't, honestly, but whatever. It's slow. No, level 10 for pickleballs. Level 10. I don't have Atom Splitter. I don't have it yet. Whew, okay. Oh. I will shortly. Oh god. Oh god. Why? Okay, it's very slow. It's really slow. It's slow. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you, Pex Peppers. Thank you. Is this supposed to be a Boron build? Boron build? What are we doing here? Oh, Ginger, what are you? Don't unplug anything. Hey, stay out of there. Hype train success. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the hype train. I don't want to touch my eyes. I made that mistake many times. I'm not going to do it. Wow, okay. Can't see. My eyes are very teary. We're going to have to wait a minute here. Yeah, I'll be fine. All right. No pickleballs. None. Thank you guys. I'll be right back. They're killing me here. Post your favorite Pex Peppers hot sauce flavor in chat. Oh, wait. My favorite is B-Bomb. Oh, I still have my Ben & Jerry's left for my birthday? Yeah, I do. I'm half-baked. There we go. That'll really wash it down. Half-baked. Not on stream, though. Mmm. That's delicious. Alright, much better. You want to cure any sickness? Just have some Pex Peppers hot sauce. Nothing will be living after you're done with that. Alright. Once again, thank you guys for the hype train. That's very, very, very appreciated. Oh dear. Well, welcome in, Digital Dragon, to the 2B Doron build whenever we get this started. How was your stream? What were you working on? We had some hype and we had some hot sauce. Ooh, okay. Man, if you're just tuning in, we have a special discount for the deposition speakers. They are 10% permanently using my code. So you have a little bit of time to think about it, but I would just recommend picking up a pair now. I'm truly enjoying the 5s, FDM 5s. And I'm super glad I didn't pick up. I was thinking about getting, oh, what were they? I think they're literally called the 5s by Klipsch. But I didn't. I stopped getting speaker stuff. I like filled up every possible area to put speakers. But it's been a little while and I'm happy to have these. Oh, they're still spicy. I want to wait. I don't think we can even do a recording today. You guys are killing me. Working on your BZ bot? Nice. That is on my list, potentially. My potential list. Panels installed, dual PSUs, nice. Don't punch it, don't get angry. But you got your Playmaker order? Nice. What's the most favorite color that you got from that build? Or build order? I can't even think. Do you guys want to do heat sets or something? Let's just do some heat sets. Seriously. I think we're a little blown out too. Let's see. For some reason this camera keeps, I feel like it keeps doing weird stuff with the gain. I don't know what to do at this point. I'd love to get a regular camera for the front, but I don't know. Maybe I'll hook up I could put my M50 on the front. Eventually. More heat? More heat? No more heat, please. I'm good for a while. We'll let it cool down. Oh, with the heat set? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Translucent red, blue, green. It's a Polysonic PLA. Nice. Polysonic's pretty nice. I just don't really use it a lot. I don't know. Could. Has a nice finish to it. Where do we even begin? I don't even know. Let's figure out what fans we need. That's a good start. So here is my tool head, which I should have done on a fancy plate, but that's okay. Here is the tool head. And how does the front fan work for this? Can someone explain that to me? I think it's this. But how does it work? So there's that. But how does it actually attach? Not a friction fit. Is it a friction fit? No, it's pretty loose. There is this right here, which I guess that kind of holds it in place. Huh. So when you put the Revo or the adapter on, does that make it fit? Apparently it goes one way. There we go. No, it's still loose. Wait a minute. Fell out. Has anyone built a V0 before? How does this thing work? I've never built a regular tool head. When the blower goes in, it'll hold the cable down? I don't care about the blowers. Unless the blower acts as kind of a way to hold it. It's still loose. Oh, that was in Spanish. That's funny. Yeah, it's still loose. Let's see. Starting to get some sense back. That's good. Wow, it takes these little mini fans, really. Oh, that's gross. I want Dragon Burner on this thing, like ASAP. How does this work? Oh, I guess you have to fold the cable back. And then probably take this out of here. But I'm wondering if this holds it in? Like, I don't see a way to attach it unless I'm going crazy. There's nothing in the CAD, so I was figuring it's just a friction fit of some sort. I'll say this gives me a major appreciation for Dragon Burner. Yeah, it's kind of held in, but it's like, it's gonna vibrate. It's like it almost needs a little bit of super glue. Huh. It's the carriage. Yeah, I can see that, but it's like, it's not a super tight fit. It's gonna wiggle, but I guess it's fine. Unless I'm missing a part. So, It is what it is. Alright, I think we're covered. We can start something. We'll just go through the introduction to what this thing is, and then start assembling it. So one thing I want to do first, I think I'm going to do this before we start. I ruined one of the corner pieces by overscrewing it. That was complete. Ooh, did I destroy the fan? What happened here? Oh, shoot. Hold, please. This adapter is super hard to take out. It's like a press fit for the Revo adapter. And it's quite difficult. Yeah, we're already breaking things. We haven't even started the build yet. I was pressing it on the fan to like push it back because that's the only way I can figure out how to get this Revo thing out. Your wires should be going under the blower. Where's the cavity? Under the blower? Under the blower? I don't see a cavity. How do I get this thing out of here? Urgh. It's tight. It's very tight. And did I break the fan? What did I break? Oh yeah, I snapped one of the blades off. I snapped one of the things off. Do you think this will work? Send it. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, probably not a good idea to use it. I have more. Alright. Let's not break this one. Those are the fans. These are some of the parts. It's very, very messy and sporadic. Let me kind of... is this camera shot in view? Yeah, but let me get some of the stuff out of the way. Springs. Those I don't really need. Put those over here. Here is a random Revo that we're going to try to use. I think we're good. Good enough. All right. What do you guys think? Should we start? I think so. So, as always, during my YouTube recordings, I always start off by having way too much hot sauce. And so we're gonna focus mainly on the content. Oh, I forgot about one of these things. I don't think we're actually gonna get to it today. Maybe we will, if I get the frame assembled. Hold on. I wanted to swap out this one part first. So what happened is I accidentally screwed this in too much and it completely, like, I don't know, decimated the whole entire inside. You know, you keep screwing a screw in and it goes in infinitely. Yeah, that's what I did. But yeah, as always, during YouTube recordings, I don't really read off-topic chats. I'll answer on-topic chat questions, but we try to keep it on topic. And this will be published to YouTube as well. So anything that pops up on screen. One thing I haven't seen in a while is merch. I think my merch alerts do work. But I don't get a lot of merch sales, so when those do happen, allegedly they pop up. And it's like a really cool alert, if I remember correctly. But if you want to buy some merch, that is the link. Get yourself a nice Hedgehog Make shirt, or you can get a Pezla shirt on her channel. That's an option too. Righty tighty comes righty loosey. Yeah, pretty much. Let's screw this in a little. Maybe I should. Yeah, I'll disassemble it. That seems a little bit more reasonable because it's like pre-assembled. Should really be showing the initial assembly. Cross-threading is nature's Loctite. Oh man. So I don't know, but I think, are these the same length? The same length, but I think Interesting. Okay. They only have one screw size, and apparently it's for both sides, for the top and bottom pieces. I'll have to keep that in mind. Kind of want to get some of the hardware out of the way too. But that's okay. It's always messy when you build a Voron. It like starts off clean and then everything goes everywhere. So this is kind of like building a Voron. Sort of, not a Voron. What should my clickbait title be for this? I gotta have one for YouTube. What should it be? This is not a Voron Delta. I kind of like that. That's the one side. These are the bottoms. I gotta finish. Maybe I'll clean up these a little bit more before we go. You like that too? Because that really, people really want a Voron Delta, and this is clearly not a Voron Delta, but it looks like one. So it's of course a little bit clickbait, but it's also be a fun watch anyway. I should really clean this up a little. So unfortunately, the Zyletech extrusions, they come protected, which is great, but the sticky adhesive they use on it, I don't know, it just does not come off great. Just doesn't. So let me try to get some of that off here. It comes off pretty easy with isopropyl. So let me just rub the extrusions a little bit to wash them. Oops, all Delta. Oops, I built a Delta. The definitive source for Deltas. No, not even remotely close. What's going on here? A weird burr. Oh, is it sticky in here? What the heck? What is this? Yeah, weird issue with the extrusion. That's okay. I can get around that. Alright, so that's what we'll call it. Now, should that be the title or the thumbnail? Oops, I did it again. Because, honestly, the thumbnail is what most people look at when they're on YouTube. And thumbnails really matter. Thumbnail? Yeah, probably. Don't mind me just washing my extrusions. I did one side, the visible side, but if I'm like assembling the printer, all sides are gonna be visible. And it's better just to not be covered in gunk, ideally. Hey, do you think hot sauce can be a good remover for sticky gunk? Probably. If I made YouTube shorts, that'd be a good one. Thumbnails always catch your attention first. Yeah, that's the idea. A good thumbnail will make or break a video. Keep that in mind. As much as everyone hates thumbnails, like they hate the weird, like the face, you know, thumbnails. They do get views. Just saying. I'm actually very lazy with mine. You know what I do? So because I don't go live on YouTube, I usually have something. I'll take a picture of it, like a literal picture. I'll throw it into Photoshop. I'll put my big bold text on it, and that's it. I just take a picture. So if I'm building this, I'll take a picture of like the skirts or something with like the Voron or the with the Delta plate. That'll be my thumbnail. That's all. So, a little bit of behind the scenes, which you can clearly see. But I like posting pictures because it's like, it's something and it fills up the entire screen. These are a little messy too, but I don't even care. All the extrusions can be hidden by the time we're done. What do you say? Ready to begin? Let's do this thing. All right. It's not gonna be a super long recording, but we'll see how far we get. I'm gonna try to assemble the frame, just the frame today. And a Polymaker giveaway directly after the recording ends. So stay tuned. Not at a normal time today. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hedgehog Makes. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and today we are building the Doron Velta, which is not a Voron. Why not? Well, it is designed to look like a Voron. It smells like a Voron. It uses a lot of things that you would consider Voron parts, but this is not an official Voron Delta. So just getting that very clear. What this is, though, is a project by Roger, LZ. And this was kind of an April Fool's joke at first. They were gonna make a regular Delta, an off-the-shelf Delta, look all Voron-y with the skirts, but then they said, you know what? Let's make this a real printer. So, starting from scratch, they designed pretty much everything, right? This is an awesome little design. I'm not expecting super high performance, but it's gonna be a fun build. It's gonna be a cute little, well, not really little, but a printer to have around. The total build volume, I'm not quite sure because it's a Delta. It's very strange, but this is a 200mm bed. We should be able to get most of that. If we put panels on it, maybe slightly less. It fully supports panels right off the bat. It has a mini stealth burner-esque tool head. It supports a manual clicky probe. It's bowed in, so there's an extruder that goes over here, just like a regular Delta printer. It'll be bowed in, and you can make it look like whatever you want. So at the top here, we have our control board. I'll be using a Big Tree Tech Manta M5P with the new CB2. So thank you to Big Tree Tech for sending that over. I will be very much looking forward to trying out the CB2. We're gonna be using some LGO Super Power motors. I have 3 of those here, or Speedy Powers, sorry. So Speedy Power motors, thank you to LGO for those. They'll be reasonably fast. These are direct drive, so we're feeding directly off of the motor. That'll be interesting to see what kind of speeds we can get. But rigidity is a question. This does have a 2020 based frame, but I don't know. We're gonna have to build this and see how well it works. The bed is kinematic. There is a ball bearing on these little dowels, metal dowels. The whole thing is held in with a long spring to hold it down. The bed itself, we are using a Doron Velta bed from Mandela Roseworks. I did purchase this for this project, and I did get the version with magnets. So I'll show you guys all these parts, and we're gonna try to start assembling the frame. So out front here is most of the parts. I have some skirt pieces in this bag over here. A really good tip when you're, using Polymaker filament and they give you this nice resealable bag, keep the bags. They're very useful to store parts of printers in, organize stuff. They're just very useful to have. Also, I'm streaming this live on Twitch, so if I'm reading chat, it's most likely from Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and enjoy the video. Wow, where do we start off? Well, let's look at the parts and we'll talk about what this printer is and what it isn't. So what the printer is a project. This is not for absolute beginners. If you're looking for a fun build for about the same price, you can get a Micron Plus kit from West 3D. That will give you more build volume, actually. Probably more build volume. And it'll be much faster. Or you can build a B0, you can build a full there's a lot of things you can build instead of this. And this is, like I said, a fun project that I'm looking forward to. I've always wanted to have a Delta, and might as well build one. You currently will be working off of the CAD. So if you are not familiar with CAD software, I would familiarize yourself. You can use a free version of Fusion 360. That works fine. And I'm currently building version 19 of the CAD. So what I did was I exported every piece manually. I just did a right-click export, and I printed each one of them. I did have to scale up the parts. This is very important. In order to print ABS parts and have them fit as expected, you need to scale them up. So I will leave that to the guides on how to do that, but just make sure to scale them up to allow for ABS shrinkage. If you want to learn more about that, let me know in the comments. One also very important thing, which won't really affect the build, but I increased the height of this by 50 millimeters. So these parts right here, the extrusions and the linear rails, you can kind of see it here. I increased everything by 50 millimeters. Why? Just so I can get some extra Z height on here. I'm not expecting crazy high performance anyway. If I wanted more performance, I'd want to shrink it, but I increased the height just to get a little bit more usability out of the printer. I'll be interested to see what our final build volume will be. So I ordered extra long rails from West 3D for this, and I cut the extrusions longer, and then I did a quick extrusion. I increased the size of these printed parts on the middle here. So that's the only difference between this build and what you might build. So let's get started. We'll probably start with the bottom here. So if you're working in CAD, what I like to do is isolate parts. So here is a foot, and I want to see how it attaches. So I'm going to isolate it. So now the whole entire printer is transparent. You can still see most of the components, but you can see how stuff works, how it attaches, etc. And you kind of have to have an understanding on how stuff generally goes together. So I can see here we have slots for the 2040 extrusion that's kind of hiding here. But first, we will need to install our 2020 extrusion. We have some pass-through holes here that go through. So the 2020 extrusion will get mounted with a blind, well, not a blind, just a screw that goes into the tapped bottom of the extrusion. And I did forget about these, so I'm glad I checked. I'll have to find some M3 hardware. Actually, that's M5, isn't it? Ooh, I'll have to find that. Yeah, let me grab that. So we need M5, probably 10 or so, maybe 12. I don't have that handy. So one of the downsides is that this whole thing is self-sourced. Right now there is no kit. I don't know if there will be a kit for this, but I did follow the BOM and I bought components. So we have some rods for the arms. I got some mellow bearings. I got a power supply. So we have some various things, clicky PCB. So a lot of this build right now, all of it is BOM based. If you have a Delta already and you want to convert it, make sure that the parts you have actually will match up. There's a possibility that if you want to use a Delta but the arms aren't quite right, or if one of the parts just isn't quite right, you know, close but not perfect, there's a chance that you'll have to do some extensive modification of the CAD to make it work. And currently, this is the only, like, there is no remix. This is a brand new printer. So there's not really a remix for the for different size components. Trying to find some more hammerhead nuts or anything. I built a lot of bulldogs in the past, so I generally collect random bits and pieces. I should be able to find something. Other notable things for this build, I did print everything in ABS, or actually ASA. I used Polymaker's Galaxy Blue ASA for the blue parts, and Ambrosia from West 3D Midnight Meteorite. It's a very, very nice blue and complements the other blue quite well. I knew this would happen. I was gonna have everything ready to go, and then I would not have the piece for literally the first thing that I needed. Always happens, right? We get an F in chat. Now I'm trying to go through my various printer builds. I don't know how many serials there are up to this date, but I know of pretty much two. There's two serial videos on YouTube at the time of this recording. There's Double T's and Rogers. Double T, I don't know if he did some of the CAD, all of the CAD, most of the CAD. He did some contribution to this project. Quite a bit of work, probably. So thank you to Double T for that. Here are some fasteners. Let's see. Trying to find some hammerhead nuts. I'd rather have roll-in nuts for these, just because of the location. But I can use probably. Ooh. Will I be able to use hammerhead nuts? I'm not sure. You'll probably want to get some roll-in. M5 roll-in nuts for that specific part. One of these days, I'll go through and organize all of my fasteners. I have a beautiful Screwfinity unit, and it would be awesome for organizing all sorts of, you know, different various fasteners and stuff like that. So when you're doing a build, you can just go over there, grab what you need, be all happy. All right, well, I'll have to see if these work. Or I can build it as is and go back after the fact. How's the build going? I started the build and immediately ran into a shortage of parts, which I have. They are around, but I have to locate the correct parts. So here are some hammerhead M5s. These are the rolling kind. Generally how I use these is I'll attach it to the screw and then slide the part through. That's the easiest way to do that. But on these pieces here, I'm actually gonna have to access inside of here, so it's not gonna be as easy. Actually, you know what? No, it will be. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Let me actually set up this other camera and get a nice zoomed in view of that, if I can. Trying to do some more, or capture more of what I'm building as I'm doing it, because I'm a pretty visual learner, and sometimes just seeing something done a certain way really helps out. So what we're gonna do here is move aside all of these very organized pieces, grab some of these and figure out what length we need for M5s. I have some M5 by 10s. We'll see if that is enough. Is this a 3mm driver? Most likely. All right, so let's see if this works. Yes, this is perfect. So we have our M5 by 10, and it sticks out that much. So what we're gonna do is keep this in and grab one of the hammerhead nuts. A Steve Builds hex tray would come in very handy right now. But alas, I have not printed one for this project. And what we're going to do is kind of just hold this in place and screw it in a little bit, just a little bit. Trying to show what I'm doing here. So just screw it in a little. There we go. That's it. So it's held in place, and we'll be able to slide on the extrusion. I'll grab another one of these and do the same thing. So before you start this project, check the BOM and check the quantities of various fasteners. Because I had to purchase a lot of M5 by 10s, I was completely out, and a lot of M3 by 8s for the rails. So keep those in mind as you do this build. All right, so this is the point where we're at right here. Next, I'm gonna take my vertical extrusion. These are 2020s. And I'm gonna slide this through. This is gonna be a reasonably tight fit, as this printed part is, well, it can be tight. I've already done it a couple times. But that goes in like that, but you're not done. What you'll wanna do is, if you've never used the hammerhead nut, you can practice on it, but you kind of have to back it out a little. So screw it backwards and then screw it forwards. And you can kind of feel if it's in or not. And I can look for the side, and yes, we are in fact in. I don't know if I can show that on camera, but you can see that the nut is sideways here. So the nut looks like this nut is sideways in the profile instead of the other way. If it's like that, then it's just gonna slide right out. It's not gonna actually grab on anything. But when it's sideways, like that, it is catching it and it's actually grabbing onto it. So that's the idea. You'll kind of have to feel and see. That's why I like to screw it out a couple times and then screw it in. If it immediately grabs and it gets tight, then you know you have it in well. But if you have to keep screwing it and screwing it and screwing it and screwing it, it's probably not attached. So that's step one, is to get this piece set up. I did pre-assemble this whole thing to make sure it fits well. So that's why these fasteners are in here. The next thing I'll have to do is grab my very long what is this? M5 by 60. And in my case, these are actually M6. So these are Zaltech extrusions, and depending on what extrusions you get, the tap or the drilled hole on the bottom here will either support an M5 tap or an M6 tap. In my case, with the Zaltech extrusions, it takes an M6, which should be stronger, but keep that in mind. That's a M6. So check your extrusion before you start. I think Misumi and standard Voron frames are M5. Oh, is there a heat set on here? No, it just screws into plastic. Okay. So the next part is the feet. I think these are called amplifier feet. You can get these from various resellers on Amazon, etc., pretty much everywhere. These will actually be part of the structural part of the frame because the screw goes in here. It goes through this entire long channel, and then wait a minute. Is that right? Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Hold. I have the wrong part. These are the bottom ones. The bottom ones have the screw hole. So this is actually the top. I'll have to repeat the process for the... I meant to only do the bottoms at first. So the top has a little recess right here, and the bottom has a spot for the feet. So I'm just going to undo this little hammerhead nut and then redo that with the bottom part. But I just want to verify before I go too much further that this bolt in here is going to fit. And it looks like it is not. That's not very... There's not very many threads there. It'll probably work, but it's going to be very tight. So that's really going to compress this foot, if that even grabs. I'll be very curious. So this is using that 60 millimeter. So maybe, oh boy, that would mess up a lot of the CAD. Maybe not. Maybe just recess this part more forward into it. I'll message the designer on that. But let's get this part reassembled. If I can find which one I had. Building a printer from CAD is not the most easy. Building a printer from CAD while on stream is even less easy. Probably not structural just to hold the feet. It is actually very structural. It is, because it's tapped into the bottom of the extrusion, and that's what holds the extrusion kind of straight. You built your crucible using only CAD, definitely slows the process down. Yeah. Making a manual is not simple. You know, you might think it is. Oh, just make a manual. No, it's not easy, because you got to go through every single step. You got to orient stuff. You got to show the correct things. It's very difficult. So you should be very appreciative to everyone who has made a manual for a build. I know it's a lot of work. But for a project like this, I'm not expecting a ton of people to build this thing. Probably just not going to happen, right? It's kind of a niche build, but if you're going to do it, I think you're probably going to do it because you want to do it. And if you want to do it, you're probably going to want to learn how to read CAD. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe there'll be a manual. Who knows? With Voron, it feels like manual, it takes the most time. Yes, absolutely. Voron is not a company. It's not even a printer. It's a little cheeky, but it's a mindset, right? Voron is a mindset. It's a mindset and mentality that you can build a printer fully supported with a guide. And that is very critical, is the guide part. So let's see if we can get this thing assembled. I'm just going to screw in this bottom right here. And I'm going to use my little Dremel electric screwdriver. And I need a bit for it. Let's see, where did those go? Around here somewhere. This takes an M or a 6 millimeter. Where the heck did that go? Oh, right here, literally right here. Boron is on all of our hearts. Not printer, CNC 2. Yeah, so having a good guide that explains everything is crazy. I made a simple mod for a Sobel, and without a guide, it's quite complicated, even though it's a very simple thing. So I fully understand. Okay, we're getting to the end here. And I'm going to switch to a regular driver, just to make sure. Yeah, that's big enough. Why not? Maybe I don't. Let's use the LTT driver, the same bit. Just want to make sure that this thing is actually going in. You can see that if the extrusion gets pulled forward. So I'm going to loosen up these hammerheads. You should really not tighten them until you're ready. So keep the hammerheads, these two on the side, pretty loose. So now that's loose, and I'm going to try to feel and see if this pulls it in. And yes, the extrusion is a little bit messy. I cut this by hand. If you want, you could probably order a custom extrusion for this, tapped. But I just had the extrusion, so I did it myself. I think it's working. I think I'm also very much tightening this. Yeah, I think that's in. I'm pretty sure. So these feet, probably too much. It's gotten a little bit compressed. Let me see if I can actually back that out a little. I want it to be somewhat square. Not sure. So how much room do we have to play with? Seems like quite a bit. Alright, so that's normal looking. I'm gonna go until it gets a little bit tight. I think that's fine. So the goal is to kind of just hold it in straight, but it can wiggle still. I don't know if you can tell, but it can wiggle side to side a little bit. See that wiggle? It can still wiggle even though it's screwed in from the bottom. So that's what those screws in the side are for. Now we can screw that in. Both sides. Again, unscrewing and screwing it back in to get those hammer heads kind of aligned. And now, yeah, there's absolutely no playing here. This is a very solid piece. So there you go. That's one of 3 feet. I'm going to repeat this process, and you have to do this first because yeah, once you get these extrusions in next, it's going to block. I'll go back to here. The next part is these extrusions, and that's going to block that hole. So you have to do this step first for all 3. So there's one, pretty quick, all things considered. Let's do the rest. So we're going to grab our part here, our foot. I want to insert these M5 by 10s. Screw in this hammerhead a little bit. It'll be a little tricky to work on this. Slightly longer bolts to the feet or recess the feet. I'm thinking recess feet would probably be the easiest thing.